at Páirc Uí Chaoimh is Jim Carney.
It's a day of mixed emotions for Brian Flannery at number 4 for Waterford. An All-Ireland under-21 medalist a few years ago with Tipperary, he lines out today against his native county. Billy O'Sullivan at number 13 for Waterford is relieved to be starting, for despite being acknowledged as one of the most skillful forwards in the game, he's been replaced in both the league final and the first round this season. So today he'll be hoping for 70 minutes of hurling. This is the Waterford selection. Tom Feeney and Brian Green retain their positions in defence despite recent injuries. Tony Brown and Peter Queally remain the midfield partnership, while Anthony Kerwin is still the favoured full forward, despite the addition of the powerful Sean Daly to the panel. With Noel Sheehy retired and Conor Gleeson injured, the troublesome Tipperary full-back berth is given today to Michael Ryan. Regular cornerback for years, his mastery in this area today could be a major factor in deciding the match. The Premier County selectors give Michael Kennedy at number 15 his opportunity this afternoon, and with youthful skill and flair beside Liam Cahill and Eugene O'Neill, it's quite a formidable full-forward line for Tip. But it's going to be a big test for the Tipperary half-back line. And although Conal Bonner has jumped this hurl before, Brian Horgan and Aidan Butler haven't. Colin Bonner is now at midfield beside Thomas Dunn, while John Lahey returns from injury to again wear the number 12 jersey. Two of the best hurlers in the game, Stephen Frampton, wing-back for Waterford, Declan Ryan, long-serving centre-forward for Tipperary, captain their counties today. Trying to play it for Ken McGrath. Ken McGrath, his first touch wasn't a good one, but his second touch is a good one, and he robbed the Tipperary centre half-back Aidan Butler, and it's the first free of the game. Now there are changes around the field as expected. We'll tell you about those changes in due course, but Anthony Kerwin's made a good start for Waterford. Aidan Butler not quite so for Tipperary. He won a ball, then he was robbed by Ken McGrath, then came the free, and so Paul Flynn from Ballygunner in Waterford has a relatively easy opportunity to show that his free-taking touch is sure today, and it is. Tipperary captain Declan Ryan won the toss, but that didn't guarantee the first score, because Waterford's got the first score. Aidan Butler going for that ball. Well, a free came from it, and a score. Great puck out by Brendan Cummins for Tipperary. Hurled away towards Peter Queally in the middle of the field. To the tall Dan Shanahan. He had a wonderful second half against Kerry and Tralee in the first round. He'll be very sharp because of that and the league run. Oh, nicely taken up there by Brian Horgan. Tipperary Championship newcomer at right half-back, looking for Declan Ryan, who was pulled away to corner forward. Eugene O'Neill for Tipperary against Sean Cullinan, the Waterford full-back. Cullinan won that one, but there's still trouble for Waterford. However, there's a man here to help, Frampton. In comes Queally to help as well. Waterford are pushing it and pushing it out the field, relieving the pressure, but Declan Ryan to put the pressure back. It comes to Thomas Dunn for Tipperary, goes for a score. Thomas Dunn, he's well able to take scores. He often plays in the forwards. Beautifully struck by Thomas Dunn from around 40 metres or so, and the sides are level in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. A first puck out of the game for Brendan Landers, the Waterford goalkeeper. He was outstanding in the National League. Pucking into the wind. It's a wind that's blowing into the Waterford goal. Tipperary with it in the first half. They won the toss. They're playing left to right. And there's the very, very experienced Tipperary defender, Michael Ryan. And there's an experienced Waterford defender, Stephen Frampton from Ballygunner, captain of the team. Now, Stephen Frampton is just one of a tremendous half-back line, beside the inspirational Fergal Hartley and Brian Greene, a younger man who's had a great year. Dan Shanahan. Nicely to Peter Queally in the middle of the field. Queally goes for a score, all alone. But he's put it wide. Well, he was unmarked. No great pressure except for the pressure and tension of the occasion. And that one gone wide for Waterford. Another tremendous puck out, right down to the 21. Out comes full forward Eugene O'Neill. He's already having a good tussle with Sean Cullinan, the Waterford fullback, and Eugene O'Neill puts that one across the face of the goal and wide. Good pressure exerted there by Cullinan, the fullback, on young Eugene O'Neill, one of the most exciting prospects in the game today. Gerald McCarthy in his home city. But of course, it's with Waterford that all his attention is focused now, and he's done a wonderful job with Waterford. Liam Cahill playing out the field. Knocked down by Michael Kennedy. Plenty of Waterford men there. One of them is Frampton, the captain. Great strength there. Horgan knocks it down for Tipperary. Onto it comes Paul Flynn for Waterford. He's fouled. A second chance of a score for Paul Flynn off freeze. Flynn was quick there, he was vigilant, his concentration was keen, and he won that ball and won the free. Now just under 5 minutes of play gone here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, a point apiece, and Aidan Butler has an injury, the Tipperary centre half-back. It'll have to be attended to. He's played a lot of hurling at midfield for Tip. He plays centre-back for his club, which of course is Clonulty Rossmore, the county champions. Well, you see yourself what the injury is. He got that in the very first minute of the match. Paul Flynn going for his second score off his second free, and that's 2 out of 2 for the young sharpshooter from Ballygunner, who was a brilliant minor and a brilliant under-21 player. Brendan Cummins switches the puck out to the right-hand side. Liam Cahill playing at right half forward. Tony Brown, very good at covering for Waterford. And then off his right side, good ball through the middle. But Conal Bonner kept his eye on it all the way. Michael Kennedy trying to get into it down there at top of the left, the youngster for Tipperary. But once again, Waterford clear their lines. And Waterford playing slightly the better hurling in the first 5-6 minutes or so. Thomas Dunn for Tipperary. He got their point, their only score of the game so far. Brian Horgan, good pull. Tony Brown just missed it for Waterford. Into Eugene O'Neill. Eugene O'Neill versus Cullinan again. Eugene O'Neill plays it back. But right half forward, Liam McGrath has put that one wide. Well, Liam McGrath, strong player. He's from the Burgess Club, not noted perhaps for his scoring as much as lads like John Lahey and Thomas Dunn and Eugene O'Neill. He provides strength, physical power in the Tipperary half-forward line. Peter Queally, who plays his club hurling here in Cork with Sarsfields. On towards Liam Cahill, beaten to it, however, by Brian Greene. Peter Queally there for Waterford. Thomas Dunn for Tipperary, but again it's Brian Greene. Good opening by the Waterford left half-back. Anthony Kerwin beat Michael Ryan to that one. To Paul Flynn, took on his man. We'll have to take on a second man. We'll have to show a lot of balance, but it ran away from him. Brian Horgan, good ball, well won by young Horgan for Tipperary. Declan Ryan, great catch. He's got a man inside him, Declan Ryan. Will Liam Cahill go for a goal from there? He does, it's gone over the bar. Well, goal or point, whatever he was going for, he got a score. It was a point. Liam Cahill from Ballingarry, the scorer. Cahill's very young, but he's played a lot of senior hurling. He's got some good goals too. There he got a good point. The Tipperary full forward line, incidentally, is Declan Ryan, top of the right, Eugene O'Neill and Michael Kennedy. McGrath, as expected, Liam McGrath, the strong man from Burgess, is playing centre half forward, and there are men playing some hard hurling over there and some hard hitting too. John Lahey and Tony Brown. And the referee, Pat O'Connor, is speaking to John Lahey. It'll be just a word of caution, perhaps, a word of advice. Nothing more really than cool it down and take it easy. A hard pull there by John Lahey across Tony Brown. Free to Waterford. Stephen Frampton's free for Waterford. Shorter than he'd have hoped for. Conor Bonner. Away to his brother Colin, helping from midfield, his half-back line. Declan Ryan, the Tipperary captain, playing top of the right. Good ball in. Tom Feeney covering for Waterford, and he got a good ball out, but a bit of a fresh air there from Brian Green. That's uncharacteristic of him. Liam Cahill plays it to Eugene O'Neill. Right-handed, good ball by Eugene O'Neill. Great point. There was beautiful balance, beautiful skill there as Eugene O'Neill caught that one, turned and put it over. Now Liam Cahill gives the scoring pass to Eugene O'Neill, and as O'Neill gets it, watch the turn. It was the turn that did it. Brian Horgan pulls on that one, may have gone off a Waterford stick, and linesman Larry O'Flynn, Cork referee, gives it to Waterford. This is Brian Green from a great Waterford City hurling family. His dad Jim scored one of the goals when Waterford last beat Tipperary in Munster Championship hurling. Brian Green then took a belt as he gave that one to Ken McGrath. Ken McGrath trying to make his pace tell there. Michael Ryan will be under pressure here. The pull by Anthony Kirwan. It's gone in towards the goal. It's on the line and the goalkeeper's got it. He's coming out. He was brave and vigilant. Brendan Cummins saved the day there for Tip. Thomas Dunn, good catch. Playing it low towards Eugene O'Neill. Sean Cullinan just missed his catch. Back came Tom Feeney to help. Brian Flannery's there too for Waterford. They're under pressure. Liam Cahill, he's playing well in the early stages for Tipperary. Oh, that's well won by Waterford. Brian Green battling for it. It's gone back in towards Fergal Hartley, covering at full back. Away towards Peter Queally, always puts his hand up for it in the middle of the field. He's very brave, very strong. Brian Green to help it on for Waterford. Knocked out towards Tony Brown, very skillful player. Good turn by Tony Brown to get out of trouble. He's got Paul Flynn in support. Paul Flynn making his pace count here against Paul Shelley. Good skill by Paul Flynn, just tapped it away from his marker. He's running into trouble. He's got to find a man in support. He can't. And then Paul Shelley won it back. So the slower man in that duel won the ball. Michael Kennedy for Tipperary. Bit of pulling there as that ball came in, and a bit of pulling a second time, and John Lahey is the man who goes down this time, and Pat O'Connor, the Limerick referee, will speak with Stephen Frampton that he's done. Kennedy versus Flannery. Now Stephen Frampton there clashed with John Lahey. There's referee Pat O'Connor. He's a busy man in the early minutes. Eugene O'Neill with the free for Tipperary. He's already got a beauty from play, and now he's struck a good one off a free. Now, was there a goal chance here as Ken McGrath sends that ball in? Michael Ryan underneath it with Kirwan. Kirwan just got a touch on it. Brendan Cummins had it covered the first time as he thought. Then he had to turn around and win it back, and that he did. Stephen Frampton against John Lahey. This is quite a tussle. Frampton had the better of it there. Down towards Kirwan, the full forward. Will he take on Ryan? He's got to go round him or get it back to Dan Shanahan. Shanahan in front of the goal, puts it over the bar. score for score, point for point. This is good hurling in the Munster semi-final. Dan Shanahan, the scorer for Waterford. Well, already, and we've only had 13 minutes, Tipperary will fear that Anthony Kirwan may have the better of his marker, Michael Ryan. Dan Shanahan, the scorer. John Lahey just ran away from him, but he got it at the second attempt. Good running by John Lahey. What's on here? He gives it to Cahill. Cahill can't go directly through, and then he crashes it off the bar. Was it or the post? It's come out to Michael Kennedy across the face of the goal. Lahey bats it back, and finally it's gone wide. Well, the umpire, I can tell you, was signalling it wide, and the referee, I think, may be giving a free out. Oh, what drama here. Liam Cahill tried the direct way, the Mo Girok, and then off the crossbar, yes. Well, a rueful look there by Liam Cahill, but what a good match the Ballingarry Flyer is having here today for Tipperary. Well taken down by Thomas Dunn. The Toomey Barrowman playing well for Tipperary, but that's not such a good ball. It should be Brendan Landers. It didn't really favour an inside forward there. Conal Bonner against the taller Dan Shanahan. Conal Bonner, good touch there as he sent it away one-handed. Again, Brendan Landers has to come and take a low one. Good eye, good concentration by the goalkeeper. To the top of the right, Billy O'Sullivan. He gets it to Dan Shanahan. Dan Shanahan can open up the ground. Well, he goes for the score without opening up the ground, but he's put it wide. Brendan Cummins has a great puck out. It's putting the Waterford defence under pressure, but they're coping well with the pressure. And Brian Flannery, the Tipperary-born cornerback for Waterford, got in a great clearance there. But Conal Bonner took it down for Tipperary. Lovely hurler, always a pleasure to watch such a crafty, stylish type of wing-back as Conal Bonner in action. Tom Feeney against Declan Ryan. That's an interesting duel because Ryan was due to start at centre forward, Feeney was due to start at right full back. Instead it's Ryan top of the right and Feeney left full back. Brian Horgan for Tipperary. Oh, well played there by the Waterford man, and the Waterford man is Dave Bennett. Dave Bennett, who's made a name for himself in universities hurling, and Gerald McCarthy will be pleased there with the commitment of the Waterford man. But the sideline ball is going to, well, it's going to Waterford. I think for a moment Waterford supporters thought it was going the other way. "16 minutes of play gone." Not such a good ball by Peter Queally, and Paul Flynn can't keep it in place. Sideline ball to Tip. Well, Paul Flynn got two chances from frees in the first 16 minutes of this match. He took both of them. He'll have a good tussle in general play with Paul Shelley. Of that, there's no doubt. A 1-point lead for Tipperary. And a Waterford man all alone, Brian Green, trying to play Paul Flynn's corner again. Brian Horgan won it for Tipperary, having an excellent championship debut. To Aidan Butler. Down towards another debutant, Michael Kennedy. Eugene O'Neill. To Michael Kennedy. Kennedy trying to get room to swing his hurley there and go for the score. Well, he got the room, he got the score. Oh, lovely hurling. There's Michael Kennedy from Clonulty Rossmore, Declan Ryan's club, Aidan Butler's club, and young Kennedy is making a name for himself, and he's making it fast. This should be Peter Quealy's ball in the middle of the field. Well, it was knocked down by Thomas Dunn from him. Fergal Hartley there for Waterford, trying to get into the game. It breaks to Liam McGrath, who's playing on the 40. Liam McGrath putting a low trajectory on it, and Brendan Landers was safe again for Waterford. Well, that's 3 balls now in the first 17 minutes of the match that have gone in low and quite easy for Brendan Landers. But here's Declan Ryan. There'll be nothing easy about this one. Ryan goes for it, off the post, cleared away. Oh, there was a goal chance there. Declan Ryan went for it. But as often happens, it's a counter-attack from Fergal Hartley down towards Billy Sullivan, beaten by strength there. A chance for Sullivan to recover. Conall Bonner there for Tipperary. Good wing-back play by Conall Bonner. He's having a very good match. Knocked down by Brian Flannery. Stephen Frampton there for Waterford 2. Frampton comes through the middle. He's put under pressure. He's lost it. McGrath there for Tipperary to Eugene O'Neill, who has lost his marker. There's a man inside. That man is Lahey. He was free. And that's the 4th ball of the first half that Waterford have played right into the grasp of the very sound and eminently capable Waterford goalkeeper Brendan Landers. Brian Green, eminently capable too, and plays a good ball across the field to Tony Brown. This is a lovely hurler, Tony Brown, one of the best you'll see in the game today. Good ball to Paul Flynn, kept his eye off it, but the touch was good as he gives it to Ken McGrath. Ken McGrath, lovely ball too. But 2 Tipperary men there, and eventually it'll be Aidan Butler's. Cahill versus Green. Feeney versus Ryan. Feeney had it. Good ball, well won there by Tom Feeney to Fergal Hartley, who's all alone. The breeze is quite fresh now. It's in Tipperary's favour. Dan Shanahan wins a free for Waterford. And this will be a chance to take that 2-point deficit back to the minimum. The free won by Dan Shanahan, who's having a good game at right wing forward for Waterford today. Paul Flynn, 25 years of age, very experienced, very accurate. His 3rd chance off frees, and his 3rd chance is converted. Well, it was a lovely ball in from Cahill to Declan Ryan. He lost his marker, who had to cover Cahill. Ryan went for the goal. It went across Brendan Landers and came back off the woodwork. That's twice now the tip had been denied by woodwork. Fergal Hartley looking for Dan Shanahan, trying to make his height count. Was he holding Conall Bonner, or was Conall Bonner holding him? Play on to the referee. Good refereeing by Pat O'Connor of Limerick. Shanahan looking for Kerwin, who's been starved of ball in the last 5-6 minutes or so. Ken McGrath there in a race with Michael Ryan. But Michael Ryan's very comfortable over there because that's the left full-back position. It was his natural home for the last 10 years or so. Frampton, good shoulder charge on Lahey. It's gone out. Sideline ball to Waterford. Well, Waterford are just a bit concerned. They know that twice the woodwork has come to their rescue. Even though their forwards are doing well on limited ball, they are concerned. It'll be interesting to see, will they make more switches? Tony Brown of Mount Sion with the cut, but Paul Shelley was away from his marker. Paul Flynn. Brian Flannery knocks it down, doing well at right full-back, even though he's wearing number 4. Fergal Hartley for Waterford. One of the outstanding personalities in the National League, Tony Brown. He topped it, but Peter Queally can rescue it perhaps. No, it's come instead to Colin Bonner. Fergal Hartley to John Lahey. Nice pick-up by Lahey. A quick look up and a good score. It just came so natural to him. The skill there was in the pick-up, the look-up, and the point over the bar. Four Tipperary forwards have scored now. They lead by 2 points. Waterford just staying in touch. They were hurling so well there for a 10-minute spell. But every time Tip get that ball in towards Declan Ryan, the big man, and O'Neill and Cahill, you fear that there are scores coming. Well, there's a score coming this end too. It came from Paul Flynn, and what a beautiful score it was. 3 frees and 1 from play now for Paul Flynn. He is once again their main scoring hope. Well, Ken McGrath does ever so well here against tight, hard marking. He just switched the focus of the attack to Paul Flynn, and Paul Flynn only had to look. Well, Stephen Frampton goes down there under a challenge. There's booing around the ground. Perhaps we can examine in detail what happened there. But Frampton and Leahy are having a hard tussle today, and Leahy will be spoken to again by Pat O'Connor. He's been spoken to once, he's not been booked, but he's certainly going into the book now. Well, John Leahy, so often a controversial figure, no doubting his hurling genius. But the first challenge early in the game on Stephen Frampton really was a hard one. Frampton put in a hard one then, well, 1-1. Now it's 2-1. And let's just watch this as they fall. Leahy strikes back, and there's no doubt about what happened there. Gerald McCarthy with a very serious look at the situation now, and it is a serious situation. But it's good hurling between two good Munster teams. Better work by the Tipperary full back line this time, and Paul Shelley denies Paul Flynn the ball and gets a free as the ball went to Aidan Butler. Well, Paul Flynn will be a little disappointed to lose that one, but Paul Shelley is a powerful, formidable opponent, and, well, he can't win them all. Well, that looked a friendly exchange. Only Paul Shelley and Paul Flynn can say if it was. Frampton for Waterford. Ryan for Tipperary. Good pick-up by the big man. He's got a lot of skill. Off his left-hand side, his favourite side. It's gone over the bar. The Tipperary captain leads by personal example. Now 24 minutes into this first half. News from the sideline.
And after that point, Gerald McCarthy, the Waterford manager, was straight out and shouting over at the referee, Pat O'Connor from Limerick, giving out he reckoned that Declan Ryan had overcarried the ball.
Tipperary on the attack again. They're playing some great hurling now for the last 10-15 minutes or so, but that wide by Tipperary there, that just might help settle Waterford nerves. Well, Declan Ryan here, the Tipperary captain. Waterford people felt that he overcarried just a little before he went for that last point, but he made such good room for himself. I think it's just one of those things. Referees are happy to give a player a chance to strike the ball. Now the two number 10s and a hard exchange there. Shanahan, the bigger man of the two, though McGrath is tough for Tipperary. Shanahan again for Waterford. He's gone to ground, but he's got support. That support is from Billy Sullivan. Did he take too many steps there? Well, the referee, Pat O'Connor, has blown for a free, and yes, it's a free out. And really, I think Billy O'Sullivan can't have too many complaints about that one. Well, let's just look at it. There's the pickup. 1, 2. Well, he soloed it there. 3 more, 4, 5, 6. And I think the whistle went around the 6th, or was it the 7th? So Gerald can certainly have no complaints about that one. Oh, lovely catch by Fergal Hartley. It's a trademark skill. To Tony Brown. A lot of loose hurling around the middle of the field, with all four midfielders doing quite well, you have to say. Dan Shanahan for Waterford. He's seeing a lot of the ball, a lot of the action, and Conor Bonner fouls him to give Paul Flynn a chance of another point for Waterford. Well, up to now, Paul Flynn has scored 3 frees and a beauty from play. This 4th free of his has gone over the bar as well, though it was the furthest out. But angles and distances all come alike to Paul Flynn from Ballygunner in Waterford. Shorter puck out this time by Brendan Cummins towards Liam Cahill, who did so well in the early minutes. Fergal Hartley has really come into the game for Waterford, and Waterford fans will love that because Hartley provides so much inspiration. So too does Tony Brown, who took a good ball there from Dan Shanahan. The left full back, Liam Sheedy from Portroe. a tough defender, and he had to be tough there to ship that challenge. Well, he got it free. Paul Flynn pleads his case for Waterford, but the ruling has been made. Aidan Butler still a little concerned about his nose injury. Seven minutes to half-time. Well, the pull there was by Michael Kennedy. He goes off his left-hand side, but Waterford backs did well there. Cahill there for Tipperary. Tip have a few men over, and the pull across the goal by McGrath has gone right across the goal. It hasn't gone wide, however. That ball is still in play. Oh, good turn by Brian Flannery. Hard hurling by Flannery. He's doing so well. Well, one there by Brian Horgan. Everything he's done has had a touch of class about it. Thomas Dunn swinging it in, but to the right and wide. And Thomas Dunn, by his standards, will be disappointed that that one didn't at least go to the far post, if not over the bar. Well, Len shouldn't be too unhappy because his team lead 7 points to 6 in the 29th minute. Liam Cahill drives that ball forward to Michael Kennedy. Didn't get it at the first attempt because it was good marking by Flannery. The Waterford defence not afraid to come through the tackle, and Sean Cullinan, the full-back, will get a free where the ball landed, and the referee Pat O'Connor was watching that one all the way. Now John Lahey came in. John Lahey's on a booking, remember. Then Liam Cahill came in, and Cullinan went down at the second challenge. Now the referee Pat O'Connor will have to go back here and see if the Waterford fullback Sean Cullinan is okay. John Lahey put in the first hard challenge there, Liam Cahill the second. Pat O'Connor's gone back to see if he's all right. It doesn't look as if Pat O'Connor is taking any action here against the two tipmen who put in those hard challenges. But you can judge it for yourself. Well, that was hardly an attempt to play the ball, but Cullinan was determined to come through the challenge. And once again, it's Lahey in the spotlight. Gerald McCarthy, incidentally, is running towards midfield. He's running towards the referee. This is very, very unusual indeed. The Waterford manager is right out there in the middle of the field. Gerald McCarthy is backing back towards the sideline. He was incensed there, and you can see that in his face. Tony Brown's getting on with the free. Tony Brown's put the free over the bar. Marvellous marksmanship by Tony Brown. Well, there's so much happening there, we must have news from the sideline.
And it seems that the reason that Gerald McCarthy was so irate there was that one of the umpires was trying to get the referee's attention. Meanwhile, Waterford have rung out the changes in their forward line, and they've changed Paul Flynn out to half forward. Dave Bennett's gone into the corner. And it's Liam Cahill attacking for Tipperary. Liam Cahill, it's gone over the bar. It could have been worse, however, for Waterford. As Liam Cahill went through there, the fullback Sean Cullinan stood his ground, and it went off his body and over the bar. But the point, of course, will be credited to Cahill. Now, 4.5 minutes to half-time as Liam Cahill comes through. Watch Cullinan there. It went off his thigh and over the bar. Len Gaynor now will be just a little bit happier. 5 Tipperary forwards have scored. But let's examine what's happening here, because I can tell you that the referee has gone to speak with Liam Cahill, and it was Liam Cahill who got involved there in the second challenge on Sean Cullinan, the Waterford fullback. I think it's been sorted now. Point for point again. Lovely catch by Thomas Dunn, fouled by Paul Flynn, who, as we've been told, is now playing at left half forward, probably in an attempt to get more quality ball to Paul Flynn. Now, as Thomas Dunn came down there, he went to ground. It's very, very hard, uncompromising stuff in the Munster semi-final at Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Brian Horgan's ball. Knocked down and pulled on and pulled over the bar. And it was Liam McGrath from Burgess, who's wearing 10 but playing at centre half forward,
who got the point. It was a very hard pull. A great score for Tipperary. Declan Ryan who knocked it down. McGrath came in over the bar. Two minutes to half-time in the Munster semi-final between Waterford and Tipperary. A hard, tough match. Liam Cahill got first run on that one off Brian Green. They've had a very good tussle, but Cahill's getting the better of it now. Cahill gets the point. That's his third of the first half. All from play. That's good shooting. Waterford will have to tighten up in that area. There was a lot of speculation, and it was shown in this first half to be well-founded that Tipperary wouldn't play three relatively light men like Cahill, O'Neill and Kennedy in the full forward line. Ryan went in there to help, and Cahill is enjoying his freedom out there at right half forward. Ryan knocked off that one to Liam McGrath again, and that's the fifth easy ball of the first half for the Waterford goalkeeper Brendan Landers to Shanahan and O'Sullivan. Well won by Billy O'Sullivan. That'll do his confidence a lot of good. He hasn't had a lot of good luck in this first half. Brian Horgan here for Tipperary, but there was a foul, and the referee Pat O'Connor gives it out for jersey pulling. Well, young Brian Horgan from Knockavilla Kickhams has had an excellent first half for Tipperary, and he just looks so comfortable in the position, and he looks so comfortable playing hurling at championship level at this highest level. Good strike by Brian Horgan. Looking for Declan Ryan, the big man who turns away from it. Cullinan was there with the pull. Ryan and O'Neill, and it's gone in. Goal to Tipperary in the last minute of the first half. A time when all counties love to score, and the counties who conceded go in with their heads down almost always. Ryan didn't compete for it. It broke. It came to Eugene O'Neill, no better man in a place like that. For once, the Waterford full back line have proved fallible, and from point-blank range there was nothing that Landers could do, or the back on the line. We're in injury time in the first half. That's a crucial blow for Tip to strike. Fergal Hartley will need all his qualities of inspiration now. So too Brian Green to lift Waterford. Could they get a lift in injury time? Well, it's broken down to Billy Sullivan. He gets a good ball out to John Shanahan, but the referee had blown for a free aim, and I think the reason O'Sullivan is so annoyed, so incensed there, is that the advantage wasn't played. Well, we'll never know what might have happened if Dan Shanahan had been let free there and let in on goal. In the circumstances, a point will be no more than consolation for Waterford, but it's better to score one than concede one, and that'll give them just a little lift as they go in at half-time. We'll soon have that whistle. So at half-time, the lead has been stretched by Tipperary. 1-10 to Tip, 8 points to Waterford. It was going so well for so long for Waterford. It was point for point in a good, hard first half. And then Eugene O'Neill struck what could be a decisive blow. Will it be decisive? We'll only know in the second half. Leahy in from left half forward to centre half forward. Perhaps to get him more into the game, and maybe to take him away from Stephen Frampton, because they had a hard tussle in the first half. Now he'll be on Fergal Hartley. But Waterford, who so badly need scores, as John Leahy looks on. Tony Brown, he hit one superb long-range free in the first half. He goes for another long-range effort now, but he's put it wide, and that's the start to the second half that Waterford most certainly did not want. Brendan Cummins, so versatile. He's a brilliant footballer too, as he's proved in the last year or two with Tipperary. But of course, he's also one of the best hurling goalkeepers in the game. He brought off one great stop in the first half on his line. And it came at a time when Waterford were playing quite well. Well, Tip then took over, and of course they were well on top coming up to half-time. Now, out around the middle of the field, Paul Flynn, having discarded his helmet. Paul Shelley under pressure, Anthony Kerwin perhaps to get a touch, but it was two defenders and the goalkeeper to one forward. 3-1, it had to go Tip's way. Well won by Stephen Frampton without a hurley. He needs a bit of help, and he's got help from the referee. It's a free out. Gerald McCarthy, as a star player in his day, was always cool and composed. He's got to remain cool and composed now, as Tony Brown swings one in from Waterford from way out. Great score, and a good time too. That certainly will boost Waterford morale on and off the field. Tony Brown, the scorer. Brendan Cummins into a stiffish breeze now. Not getting quite the length into his puck out that he did in the first half. Ken McGrath, could he make a run here or just go for a score? He just goes for the score and gets it. Good one by Ken McGrath. He needed that just to get him going. He showed flashes of his brilliance in the first half. It wasn't sustained, however. That's much better by young Ken McGrath. Dave Bennett it was who got past his man, set it up well, and Ken McGrath, nice score. The Waterford supporters get behind their team now. Just 3 points in it. Very well won there by the vastly experienced Colin Bonner. But has it run away from Tipperary? Hartley there for Waterford and Brown. Lahey goes in hard again for Tipperary. Tom Feeney to touch it away for Waterford. To Tony Brown in the middle of the field. Nice touch. Good pick up by Tony Brown. Good turn. Drills it down towards the top of the right. To Billy O'Sullivan, who's really in the game now. He's doing well. To Paul Flynn. Paul Flynn goes for a score off his left-hand side. But it's just gone wide. That would have been 3 points in a row for Waterford. That would have been really great for them. Paul Flynn just missed the target. Brendan Cummins put a lower trajectory on that one, but it was well won by Tony Brown in the middle of the field. Probably the most influential of the four midfielders now, Stephen Frampton. Into Billy O'Sullivan. Billy O'Sullivan to get round his man perhaps. Off his left-hand side. Point for the taking. Gets it. Billy O'Sullivan the score. It's really going well for him now. He was taken off in the league final, taken off against Kerry. He was very disappointed to lose his place on both days. But now he's showing what he can do. Getting round his man there, Liam Sheedy, and from close range putting it over. The first three scores of this second half have been Waterford points. Colin Bonner on towards that dangerous full forward line. Michael Kennedy bounced onto it for Waterford, but beaten there by Brian Flannery, who's done quite well for Waterford. It could come back for Tipperary. Eugene O'Neill, Tom Feeney there for Waterford. The fullback Sean Cullinan's having a great game too. And there's Stephen Frampton, the captain. Improvised, cleverly. Down towards Peter Queally. Great catch by Queally in the middle of the field. Good ball in to Paul Flynn in front of the goal. Off his left foot. Cummins did well. Good positioning. Cool, composed. And an attacking goalkeeper, Brendan Cummins. And he shows his football skills. Tony Brown, great game now in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Tony Brown off his left, looking for Paul Flynn again, who had a goal chance there, but Cummins was very good. And Michael Ryan clears it away down and puts it out over the sideline. He won't mind that. The clearance was the important one. But Paul Flynn is so dangerous close in. He's much more than just a free taker. And out came Brendan Cummins. And really, it was his decision to come out, to take over, to take charge, that counted. Great goalkeeping. Brian Green, marvellous strike by Green towards Flynn. Flynn versus Shelley, it's gone wide. Waterford in the first 7 minutes of the second half. 3 points, 2 wides. That's Waterford doing most of the attacking. There's only been one good counter-attack at the other side. And Len Gaynor knows that conceding 3 scores simply won't do for a team that enjoyed a 5-point lead at half-time. A good clearance by Fergal Hartley. Down towards Flynn again. Knocked down by Michael Ryan. That full-back line of Tipperary's is under a bit of pressure now. The boot was on the other foot in the first half, so to speak. Conall Bonner, really good hurler. To Liam Cahill, his first touch of the second half, I think. He had a very good first half. To John Leahy, nice turn by Leahy. He'll make a Leahy run. Oh, good ball to Declan Ryan. He took a very hard challenge, Leahy. He was grounded, but Ryan has been given the advantage by the ref. Well, the advantage did not accrue. The benefit did not accrue. That's somewhat controversial in recent times. The advantage discretion not being used as it is in other sports where the play can be whistled back, as Paul Flynn goes for a score, and it's gone over off the post. Great score by Paul Flynn. He's playing brilliantly in the Waterford attack today. Well, I think there's no harm in reflecting on this. Just watch the challenge coming in here from Stephen Frampton, John Leahy's adversary. In the first half, it went to Declan Ryan. Now, no advantage accrued there. And from the counter-attack, as Brian O'Mara comes in there for Tipperary, no advantage accrued. And down the other end of the pitch, within seconds, Waterford got a point, and Colin Bonner departs the scene. So big Brian O'Mara, experience, comes in for Tipperary. Liam Cahill, he got first one on his man there. Green goes back to Hook. Cahill's put under a bit of pressure. Great pressure exerted there by Green. It's a free out. Well, Liam Cahill shouldn't be too cross with himself there, because even though he got first run, he's got to admit that his marker did ever so well to get back and tidy up that situation. Colin Bonner off the field for Tipperary. The younger man, O'Mara's in. Waterford playing great hurling in this second half. Full forward Anthony Kerwin. Got away from his man well. He's got scope there and opportunity, and it's gone over the bar. Good score by Anthony Kerwin. Well, dare I say it, it's all Waterford now. Kerwin was crying out for a good ball. Well, he got it there. Ken McGrath called for a pass to his left that might just have served as a decoy there. News again from the sideline.
And it seems that last year's captain Conor Gleeson is almost ready to enter the fray. He'll probably come in around midfield to tighten it up in there.
Well, it'll come as a surprise to people outside Tipperary that Conor Gleeson is able to play as Liam Cahill goes for a score. But Liam Cahill puts it wide because Conor Gleeson, of course, who played so well as captain last year, he was injured and couldn't start today. Level pegging in Porky Cleeve. A resplendent Porky Cleeve. Sunshine now right across the field. The ground staff here have done wonderful work getting this pitch in such a good condition, keeping it that way. O'Mara for Tipperary. To Declan Ryan, the captain. Declan Ryan, a good ball, but Landers has his eye on it. He's got a good eye and a good clearance. Oh, Conall Bonner doesn't often let a ball like that fall away from his grasp. 2-1 there for a moment until Butler came in for Tipperary. Ken McGrath under pressure. He's got to part with it, do something with it. Tony Brown helps it on. To Paul Flynn. They're making room for Paul Flynn. He's doing ever so well, Paul Flynn, this afternoon. He's delivering on all that thrilling potential that was in this gifted young man as a minor and as an under-21. For far too long, perhaps at too young an age, Paul Flynn had to carry the Waterford forward line. Well, men like Tony Brown from midfield are giving him wonderful help today, and Billy Sullivan beside him and Kerwin are giving him help too, and Flynn's doing the business. Waterford the leaders. O'Mara
Bennett for Waterford. Getting away from O'Mara, Tipperary. Good ball by Bennett. Over the head of Michael Ryan. In towards Kerwin and Shelley. Shelley has to be brave and strong and defiant here. O'Sullivan goes in to help for Waterford. It breaks to Paul Flynn, who's all alone. Paul Flynn against Michael Ryan. He'll turn. Yes, he gets inside his man. That was so obvious he'd do that. Good ball. And Billy Sullivan puts it over the bar. Tipperary supporters will know that once or twice in recent times they gave away big leads in the second half. Well, you wouldn't call 5 points at half-time a big lead, but it was a solid lead. It's gone now as Billy Sullivan makes it a 2-point lead for Waterford. Conor Gleeson is in the game for Tipperary. We think it's Conor Bonner who's gone off. If that's right, the two Bonner brothers are gone. And Cormac, the Viking, is in retirement. And the ball's gone wide. There was a time when 3 Bonners saw championship action for Tipperary. But it's a disappointing day today for the Bonners, because Cullum and Connell have both been withdrawn in favour of Brian O'Mara and now Conor Gleeson. Brendan Landers with the puck out for Waterford. Could there be a big upset on here today? An upset not really in terms of form, the National League or anything like that, but an upset in that in recent times Tipperary have been in the limelight and have had glory days, and Waterford have had none for a long, long time. But it's surely too early to say all that, because we've had only 14 minutes in this second half, but Waterford are hurling better right now. Hit in by Thomas Dunn. But it's well won in there. And cleared away, and the man who won the first ball there was the brilliant Tom Feeney, the cornerback, who's had a wonderful tussle with Declan Ryan and has done so well on the tip captain. Down the other end of the field, it's Billy Sullivan against the hard pulling Liam Sheedy. Conor Gleeson captained the team last year. They got within a puck of a ball of Clare in the All-Ireland final, remember, so no doubting their pedigree. Eugene O'Neill, his first real touch of the second half against Tom Feeney. O'Neill's gone to ground. He's got a ball inside to Declan Ryan. Ryan's got Flannery to contend with. Flannery stayed goal side of his man. Ryan flicks it across. Kennedy goes for the goal, but he's put it wide. The youngster was so close, but not close enough. Declan Ryan against Brian Flannery. Brian Flannery has done very well this afternoon. And Kennedy went for the goal, but Landers would have got it had it been on target. Well, it was a good catch there by Liam McGrath, but he lost it then, and Waterford come attacking again. Brian Horgan, however, for Tipperary. John Lahey, great catch. Lahey trying to switch the play, but won there by Brian Green, with help from Peter Queally. Queally, very strong man. Good ball to Stephen Frampton, the Waterford captain. His man got a touch on it, and then Aidan Butler couldn't keep it in play. It's a sideline ball to Waterford. Well, Aidan Butler plays centre-back for his club, but doesn't look all that happy in the position at county level here today. It must be taken into account, however, that he got a knock early on. Tony Brown's cut not as good as a couple he cut across earlier on, and Dave Bennett in towards the goalkeeper Brendan Cummins. He was safe under that one. He's a very confident player, Brendan Cummins. Peter Queally for Waterford. Dave Bennett nipping in. Good ball by Dave Bennett. Down to the right half forward, Dan Shanahan. Oh, to Billy O'Sullivan. Dan Shanahan should surely have gone for his point there. He'd have got it. Well, Waterford may still get a point, but if they do, it'll have to be off the 65. Well, Billy Sullivan thanked Dan Shanahan for the pass, all right, but with a bit more experience, you feel that Dan Shanahan there might just have popped it over the bar. It would have done fine. Tony Brown, one of the best players on the field in this game so far. He's had two good points from long range, but this 65 goes wide. Now that's a chance really wasted by Waterford.
They had two chances indeed. First from Dan Shanahan right in front of the goal, and then off the 65. And Gerald, I feel, will be very disappointed at that. Peter Queally put the hand up there for Waterford. He's brave enough to do that every time. But it's Brian Horgan for Tipperary. That's the first ball that he's lost, because he had a great first half. Kerwin versus Shelley. Michael Ryan across for Tipperary. Hasn't really enjoyed playing full-back, I suspect, this afternoon. Great hurler, Michael Ryan. Great servant to Tipperary. Played a wonderful game in the All-Ireland final last year, but that, of course, was at left full-back. Conor Gleeson, the big man who came in as a substitute for Tipperary. He was injured and couldn't start. And there's Liam McGrath trying to break through a tackle, and he's got a free. So what might have been a soft point for Waterford only a minute ago is turned round now into a pretty straightforward chance off a free for Tipperary and Eugene O'Neill, although he must strike it from the right with his right. No problem to Eugene O'Neill, goal scorer in the first half, and now he's got a valuable one for Tipperary, and that just brings them back within striking distance again. And there it is, 15-14, Waterford the leaders by 1. Aidan Butler wins a good one for Tipperary. Could O'Neill's free be the point that brings them back in? Brian Flannery, well won. Doing his job, doing his stuff, Brian Flannery for Waterford. It goes on to Paul Flynn. Ken McGrath to his right. Flynn can't see him from there. Off his left hand, he'll go for the point. But he's put it wide. And that's a bad wide. And by his standards, it's almost inexplicable. You've got to credit Waterford for coming back so strongly, but they have had chances, and Paul Flynn there just getting away from Michael Ryan, although Michael Ryan stuck to his task well. Ken McGrath from the 40, going for a point. But once again, it's gone wide, although Ken McGrath's pleading with the referee. Did he think it was going over the bar or whatever? Well, it doesn't matter now, it's a wide ball. Liam McGrath of Burgess departs the scene for Tipperary, and that means now that they've used their 3 substitutes, so it will be interesting to see what will happen if Tipperary have an injured player. Now it's Paul Kelly. He was a brilliant young player. Paul Kelly, an underage player just a couple of years ago as a minor. Brian Flannery covering for Waterford, one of their best defenders this afternoon. And here's Kelly from Mullinahone, the club of John Lahey, and Lahey's really not that influential in the second half. And that's gone wide. So 2 Mullinahone men now, Lahey and Kelly. No doubt they'll try to inspire each other in the Tipperary attack. 15-14, Waterford the leaders by 1. '22nd minute of the second half. A hard pull there by Aidan Butler on Tony Brown. A free into Waterford, and really after 3 wides they need this one. Tony Brown, he hit a couple of good ones earlier on. Ken McGrath is thinking about it as well. It's possibly too far out for Paul Flynn, so it'll be Ken McGrath. Well, a proud day for the McGrath family. Pat McGrath was a great servant to Waterford Hurling for so long, and his gifted son Ken is now a wonderful servant to Waterford Hurling. You're looking at one of the best young hurlers in the game. Now it's Len Gaynor's turn to think about where things are going wrong. Anthony Kerwin doing ever so well now out around the top of the left position. Oh, well taken down there. Great ball by Liam Sheedy, and all Port Row will be thrilled with that one. It was great cornerback play, but good play by Fanton the other end for Waterford. Butler should win this one. He's coming to it first. He tried to bat it down and missed it. It fell to Flynn. Flynn goes for a long-range one.
but it's gone wide, though he was unmarked there. He rushed it just a little. Now, the Waterford assistant coach, Shane Ahern, who played on many a Waterford team that didn't enjoy such good fortune or play in front of such huge crowds too often. Well, the Waterford mentors will be happier now. Except they may feel, of course, that they're missing chances of making it a big lead. Right now it's just 2 points. Could it be 3? As Ken McGrath comes across field and puts it over the bar. And Ken McGrath has exploded into the game for Waterford, and Tipperary, I feel, will have to curb McGrath and all the ball that goes into Paul Flynn if they're to come back into this game. Well, it could be the lack of top-class competitive match patches, but Tipperary right now just don't seem to have their old power, but they're attacking. Cullinan again. Kelly, the Tipperary substitute there. It breaks. Stephen Frampton is there. Tony Brown goes back, and there's a flick. It's gone in. And Brian O'Mara, the tip substitute, got the touch. And that's timely for Tipperary. It came against the run of play. It came out of the blue. Indeed, it came out of the blue and gold. And Waterford goalkeeper Brendan Landers must be utterly deflated at a time when his team were going so well, to concede that goal and to let Tip right back into it. And Brian O'Mara, who played in the full forward line last year, he knew what to do when the chance came. Well, the reach there of Brian O'Mara, his height was a factor. He got the touch and in it went. And Len Gaynor, well, he doesn't look all that happy, but he surely knew that a goal was what Tipperary needed just then. Now, the Waterford full-back line don't seem to do anything wrong here. Indeed, they're there in numbers, but Brian O'Mara stuck to his task. He got the touch, and in it went. They're level in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Tip calling on all their experience and craft and tradition there. Billy Sullivan to give Waterford back the lead, but it's a very tight angle. Good ball in, and Paul Flynn puts it over the bar. Oh, it could easily have gone under, but the point is the lead. That's important. Paul Flynn got a great pass and drilled it high over the bar. It broke to Billy Sullivan. He's had a great second half. From a very tight angle, he got it across to Flynn. Flynn the point. Cahill for Tipperary. Low to O'Neill. That hasn't worked all that well, but it, of course, helped the last time that it was low to O'Neill when he kicked it across for the hop-up that eventually led to a Tipperary goal. Tipperary sub-Paul Kelly involved there. And we saw a smile just a moment ago from John Lahey. All kinds of everything with Lahey always. Brendan Landers with the free. Well taken down by Conor Gleeson. By Brian O'Mara, rather. And then Liam Cahill. Declan Ryan in the middle of the field. Unmarked. Good ball to top of the right. And Eugene O'Neill out from full forward. Good turn here by O'Neill. But oh, beautifully robbed there. Great hurling by the fullback, Sean Cullinan. And the passage man was magnificent there, because Tip did everything right. Declan Ryan switched the play to top of the right. O'Neill turned his man first time. Good play by the Tipperary man. And then the flick away. Well done, Cullinan. Tipperary lead by trail by 1 point. Tony Brown down to Billy Sullivan, the danger man, having such a good game now. O'Sullivan off his left-hand side to go for the score. Near post again and wide. That was a chance and he knows it, but once again you've got to credit the defence. The Tipperary backs were tight on their men there.
Free to Waterford. Brian Green there snaps up possession, and referee Pat O'Connor was right on hand to make that decision. We're coming up towards the 30th minute of the second half as Tony Brown swings it in for Waterford. Batted out, but Ken McGrath fights hard for Waterford. And the Tipperary substitute Conor Gleeson is fighting hard too. Declan Ryan there for Tipperary. Thomas Dunn. Tom Feeney there for Waterford. Brian O'Mara in the middle of the field. Stephen Frampton there for Waterford. Down towards Paul Flynn's corner. Flynn versus Shelley. Flynn with the pull. Liam Sheedy there to help Tipperary too. But Waterford come attacking. Good ball into Flynn. Flynn has a point for the taking, and he takes it. Another great score by Paul Flynn, who has teased and tormented the Tipperary full-back line today. Now just watch this as Flynn goes hard for that one. In danger of taking too many steps, but he put it onto the stick before putting it over the bar. Again, it's a 2-point lead, and it might be 3. Because there's a free to Waterford for a foul on Peter Queally. He's the man who went to ground. Ken McGrath standing over the free. Ken McGrath. Well, he found it difficult to hold his feet as he hit it, but there was nothing wrong with his accuracy. It was a great strike, and it went all the way over the bar. Ken McGrath, the scorer. Tony Brown versus Declan Ryan, two strong men. In comes Brian O'Mara. Brian O'Mara in front of the goal. Tony Brown back there for Waterford to chase and harry, and to put on good pressure. Is it enough? Some hard pulling in around the goal. The referee Pat O'Connor's gone in, and he may just throw this ball between two players. Now here comes O'Mara with Brown chasing, with Green coming across. It went over the head of Brian Green, and then it was flicked away from O'Mara by Tony Brown, who went to ground. John Lahey was in there as well. And at that point, the referee decided to blow. Gerald McCarthy called for more and more effort from Waterford. And remember, it's a 3-point lead now for Waterford. 20 points to 2-11. Waterford, a team that it was felt weren't scoring enough. They got no goals in their last 2 matches. Just 13 points in the league final. It was felt that wasn't enough. Well, 20 points today. Will that be enough? 3 minutes plus whatever time will be added on for injuries and other stoppages, and there will be a fair bit of time added on. Well, Tony Brown from Mount Sion has played a great-hearted game today. A good game for Waterford. His positional play has been good, his work rate's been good, and he's delivered a couple of long-range frees as well. Now Ken McGrath's driving the ball on, but they'll all have to come back. It's a free out for Waterford back around the 20-metre line. Well, Len Gaynor has to be a worried man in the 33rd minute of the second half, even allowing for the time that will be added on. Tip look up against it again. They need a third goal, perhaps. Brendan Landers. Aidan Butler for Tipperary. He lost it away, but Conor Gleeson was there. Gleeson with the free for Tipperary. There's got to be urgency now in Tip's play. 1 minute to go before the time added on. Gleeson leaves it to Butler. 3 points in it. 20 to 17. 20 to 11.
Frampton. And Hartley off his left-hand side for Waterford. But Gleeson is there for Tipperary unmarked until McGrath comes to him to put on a bit of pressure. Good ball down to Declan Ryan. So often did he rally Tipperary in the past. Declan Ryan turned in to hit it with his right. Down to Michael Kennedy. Goes for a goal. Great save. Brendan Landers, a hero for Waterford. Cahill has it back for Tipperary. Goes for another score. Another save by Landers. And Brown is back there to help his goalkeeper. Twice Landers came to the aid of his team there. Brown clears it for Waterford. Well, they're playing on, but the referee, Pat O'Connor, has whistled up the play. Now Declan Ryan sent in a good ball here. It broke to young Kennedy. He did the right thing. He did everything right, but the goalkeeper did everything right too. Now Tip going for a goal again. Pulled on, but pulled wide by Declan Ryan. He went for the goal, the big Tipperary captain. It was a good effort, but it went to the right of Brendan Landers' goal. Watch the strike now, and the wide. We're 45 seconds into injury time. One in there by Dan Shanahan first, but then it was won by Liam Sheedy out Tipperary. The clock is racing against Tipperary now. 36 minutes gone in the second half. Brian Horgan with the lift and strike. Good ball by Horgan, but Brown is there for Waterford. Lahey there for Tipperary. So to O'Mara. Pulled on towards Peter Queally, who allowed himself to be blocked there. He should really have gone with him and played a possession game surely. Michael Kennedy blocked down by Brian Flannery, who was standing in front of Kennedy, and it's a free in. And the referee ruled that whatever pressure Flannery put on there wasn't legal. So Tipperary now will have to decide what to do with this ball. And Thomas Dunn's the man standing over it. Thomas Dunn from Toomevara. Waterford just 3 men on the line. Dunn goes for a point. Not hit all that hard. He seemed to be content to take his point. Did he know that there was almost 2 minutes of time added on for injuries? Waterford are getting ready to power their way into the Munster final. They're back on the big stage in '98. They're enjoying being back there. Brendan Landers, a key man for them today with a great puck out. Dan Shanahan, a great catch. He's got a man inside and Ken McGrath. Shanahan has the confidence to go for a big, big score. And it's over, and Waterford have won it. They're thrilled. Their joy is unconfined in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. The dynamic DCs have done it. A glory day, and the Corkman, Joel McCarthy, has led them there. And led them magnificently. And his team have done him proud. From goalkeeper Brendan Landers to top of the left, Paul Flynn. Heroes all. As referee Pat O'Connor departs the scene. A sad day for Tipperary. They weren't going well enough.
311 to 114. Not a particularly distinguished Kilkenny performance this afternoon, but they had